நீங்கள் பார்த்து கொண்டிருப்பது உங்கள் RSKV யூடியூப் சேனல்.
Hello everyone. This is Precis and Drafting, which was given in the year 2015. It has 5 questions. We start with question number 1. Make a precise of the following passage within brackets in 140 words approximately. Also, give it a suitable title. Of late, environment has received a lot of attention. Not only intellectuals, but even the ordinary men and women are becoming aware of the need to have a clean environment. As a result, what is detrimental to environment is opposed today. Hundreds of developmental projects which are blind to environmental concerns are objected by the general public. Clean Ganga campaign and Save Narmada agitation that are currently going on in India are shining examples in this respect. In its simplest connotation, the term environment means the surrounding habitat of man. In its widest sense, it refers to the entire earth with its green forests, vast oceans, the layers of air and oxygen, etc. In its narrowest meaning, environment means the immediate surroundings of man, his home, workplace, market, neighborhood, etc. It also includes the atmosphere in which he lives. The importance of good and clean environment cannot be described adequately. According to many scientists, the factor which influences the growth of individuals most is environment. But unfortunately, the various elements of environment such as air, water, land, etc. are polluted and contaminated. Urbanization, industrialization, and overcrowded living have primarily been responsible for this menace. Pollution is also caused by vehicles, supersonic jets, smoke producing factories, radioactive elements, etc. The careless dumping of solid waste by households, factories, markets, commercial centers, etc. in the open places, streets, and in the rivers have further aggravated the problem. The polluted environment is a health hazard and causes several diseases and ailments. It ruins our chances of survival. Hence, an all-out attempt must be made to have a clean environment. This requires several corrective and preventive measures. One of the best ways to have a clean environment is to plant more trees. Human beings, factories, and vehicles pollute the air with carbon dioxide, monoxide, and poisonous gases. But the oxygen which the trees give out lessens their harmful effect. Secondly, pollution caused by the dumping of waste in streets, rivers, living places must be stopped at all costs. This calls for individual and community efforts. Thus, on the whole, people are becoming aware of the vital need to have a good and clean environment. The awakening of the general masses in this respect is a welcome sign and would make our world a better place to live in. We must remember that the starting point for all major movements is from the individual. If all of us, as individuals and responsible citizens, take it upon ourselves to keep our immediate surroundings neat and clean, it would go a long way to keep our house, our building, our colony, our locality, our city, and our entire nation clean and pollution free. Within bracket 40 marks. Answer: the title given is as Clean Environment. Only one passage is drafted. Recently, we all are becoming aware of the need for a clean environment. Developmental projects detrimental to environment are being objected today. We have undertaken the Clean Ganga campaign and Save Narmada agitation to save environment. Environment covers the entire surrounding habitat of man. In the narrowest sense, it is his immediate neighborhood. In the widest sense, it covers the entire atmosphere, air, water, land. Our environment is being polluted by urbanization, industrialization, and cramped living. Smoke from factories and vehicles, careless dumping of solid waste into streets and rivers, creating health hazards. We can prevent this by planting more trees which emanate oxygen. Trees can lessen the harmful effect of poisonous gases. Individual efforts and awakening of the general masses can keep our house, locality, city, and nation pollution free. Question number 2. The assessing officer under whom you are posted comes across a case of a private limited company which has received a huge amount of share premium during the year, which prima facie seems to be unreasonable. As no proceedings are pending in the case, the assessing officer has taken permission from the Principal Commissioner of Income Tax to call for information under Section 133(6) of the Income Tax Act on this issue. Draft a letter on behalf of the assessing officer calling for information under Section 133(6) from the company with regard to the details of the share applications, share issued, share premium received, valuations of the shares, and any other relevant details. Within bracket 20 marks. Answer. To the right, Office of the Income Tax Officer, Ward 81, New Delhi. To the left, FNITO/Ward 81/2015-16. To the right, dated. Below that, to the left, to the Company Secretary, XYZ Private Limited, New Delhi. Below that, subject, information under Section 133(6) of the Income Tax Act 1961 in the case of ABC Private Limited for assessment year 2015-16. In connection with the above named assessee, you are requested to furnish the following information. Point number 1. Number of shares applied for and application money paid. Point number 2. Number of shares allotted and allotment money received. Point number 3. Whether any premium has been received on allotment of shares, give details thereof. Point number 4. Market value of the shares issued. Point number 5. Any other relevant material in this regard. The above information should be provided within 30 days. Otherwise, under Section 272(a)(2), you shall be liable to a penalty of ₹100 for every day during which each such failure continues. Below that, to the right, sign Income Tax Officer, Ward 86-1, New Delhi. Question number 3. During the course of scrutiny assessment proceedings under Section 143(3) of the Income Tax Act 1961, in the case of an assessee, the ACIT, within bracket, assessing officer, came across a registered sales agreement where the assessee has purchased a land for a consideration which is lower than the values as per the stamp valuation authority. Draft a letter on behalf of ACIT conveying this information to the assessing officer of the seller of this land with the request to take necessary action under the relevant provisions, that is Section 50C of the Income Tax Act 1961. Within bracket 20 marks. Answer. To the right, Office of the Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, New Delhi. To the left, to the Income Tax Officer, Ward 16-3, Chandigarh. Below that, subject. Purchase of land for consideration which is lower than the value as per the stamp valuation authority. Below that, Sir, during the course of scrutiny assessment proceedings under Section 143(3) of Measures ABC, the undersigned came across a registered sales agreement where the assessee has purchased a land for consideration which is lower than the value as per the stamp valuation authority. As the seller of land lies under your jurisdiction, you may please determine the full value of consideration under Section 50C of the Income Tax Act. Below that, to the right, signed Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, New Delhi. Question number 4. The assessing officer, within bracket ITO, comes across the details of an assessee who has not paid the required self-assessment tax before filing the return of income for an assessment year. Draft a letter on behalf of the ITO to this assessee asking him whether he has paid the self-assessment tax subsequently and if so, to submit the necessary evidence. Also inform the assessee about the consequences keeping in view the relevant provisions of the Income Tax Act 1961, that is Section 140A in this regard. Within bracket 20 marks. Answer. To the right, Office of the Income Tax Officer, Ward 86-1, New Delhi. To the left, F number ITO/Ward 86-1/2015-16. To the right, dated. To the left, to Mr. XYZ, Delhi. Sir or Madam. Below that, subject. Payment of self-assessment tax during the financial year 2015-16 regarding. From the information available in this office, it is noticed that you have not paid self-assessment tax before filing the return of income. In case self-assessment tax is paid subsequently, you are requested to submit the necessary evidence. Second para. Failure to pay self-assessment tax under Section 140A during the financial year 2015-16 relevant to the assessment year 2016-17 attracts penal interest under Section 234A, 234B and 234C of IT Act 1961, which lays additional financial burden upon the assessee. Simultaneously, it is also the infringement of provisions of Section 208 of IT Act 1961, according to which, if the total tax liability exceeds Rs 10,000 during a particular financial year, the assessee is required to pay the same as advance tax. In case of any query, you may contact the undersigned. Signed, Income Tax Officer, Ward 86-1, New Delhi. Question number 5. You are posted in the range with Additional Commissioner of Income Tax. It has been noticed in last few days by the Additional Commissioner that the assessing officers and the staff posted with them are not adhering to the punctuality norms. Draft a letter on behalf of your Additional Commissioner to all the assessing officers of your range that punctuality should be observed strictly by themselves and their staff. Within bracket 20 marks. Answer to the right, Office of the Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Range 31, New Delhi. To the left, FN number. To the right, dated. Below that, to the left, to the AOs, Range 31, New Delhi. Below that, subject. Observance of punctuality by AOs and staff working thereunder. It has 2 paras. First para. The Additional Commissioner has been noticing that the assessing officers and their staff are not adhering to the punctuality norms. By habitual late attendance, the staff has exhibited absolute lack of devotion to duty. Lack of devotion to duty in bold and has violated Rule 3.2 of CCS Conduct Rules 1964. Further, the Department of Personnel and Training, via their OM dated 22/6/2015, has stated punctuality in attendance is to be observed by government employees at all levels. Second paragraph. In the light of above principles, all the assessing officers are advised that punctuality should be observed strictly by themselves and their staff to avoid disciplinary action. Below that, to the right, signed, Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Range 31, New Delhi. Thank you.